Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum.
Live.
Woohoo!
Ha
Setting
Hi,
up your
everybody.
meeting for YouTube Live.
We're streaming, guys.
Damn.
Live.
Still doing it. Let's see. Oh, we is live. We
Sweet.
is live, everybody. Live from beautiful Hollywood, California.
You had to think about that for a second. Like, where are we
I don't
again?
know if I'm like officially Hollywood.
Ben's like,
Plus, you know, these guys, they're not even Hollywood.
I'm totally.
You know?
I used to be North Hollywood, but that's also not Hollywood.
Right. Although they put that Hollywood in there. We've got 3 people watching. Welcome, everyone.
It's because it took us 15 minutes. We scared them all away.
They'll be back. Now we have 5.
Yes.
1 minute in. 5
Louis
viewers.
Perron says hi. Remember, guys,
Hi.
we are watching the chat. We're watching. So,
We see you.
and there's 2 of us watching. So it says 7 people are watching the video, which only means that only 5 people are watching the video.
Oh, that's true. My math is messed up there. Oh, well.
Someone says, Scott, your shards are awful.
Thank you.
No, they actually said, I love your shards.
Thank you. I mean, that sucks.
I mean, that sounds so dirty.
How fast did those sell out, Scott?
So that might have been a record. I put up 50. There was an addition of 50, and then I hit the button to put them up, and then like I just do refresh because I watch the quantities, like, you know, if they go down, because I oversell that. PayPal oversells every time, so I account for like 4 extra because I hate telling people, you know, that, oh, it says you got it but you didn't. So it was like 1 refresh, it went from like 50 to 0. So it was
Wow.
it was like 10 to 15 seconds. It was crazy.
Congratulations, dude.
Thanks. And I did oversell by 4, and luckily I put 4 aside extra, so it worked out perfect. It's just I don't know, like I hate it. PayPal's got to get that figured out, because
Well, does the online store work like once someone has it in its cart, is it theirs for a certain period of time, or is it the first person who checks out?
good question. It's I just put the buy it now button up there, and then some people have it dialed in. Like, there's techniques to it where people have it, because I literally, like, I mean, I can't even check out that fast when I'm checking, you know, when I'm buying stuff. But I don't know exactly. I mean, I don't know if they just sell so fast that PayPal doesn't have a chance to like not oversell. I'm not sure what
It happens in every system. You can't.
Well, there's some that once you have it in your cart, they give you a certain amount of time. Like, you get 10 minutes to check out, and then if you don't, it goes back into the store. And other ones, you could be in the middle of the checkout process, and if other people are faster, by the time you get to the checkout, like,
It's just
it disappears from you.
Yeah, I think it's the B option, because because people, I'll hear people, or people will comment on the post or something and said I had it in my cart and I wasn't able to buy it. So
That's not very nice to call it a B option, Scott.
a biatch.
That's so rude.
Phil, Scott says that you're a total savior with that drop, and you're a hero. You're the real hero, Scott.
You're the hero.
Ben, how long were you on today? Like,
Hey, everyone. So welcome to another live Toy Geeks Behind Our Desks, or as we like to call it also, fake news. I actually stole that one from the live chat. Thanks, Carlos. I'm coming from a live Pop Shop Live. We were on for 5 hours.
Jeez.
5 hours.
Did you sell a lot of stuff?
We sold a lot of stuff, yes.
yeah, you were doing good, real good, because I would check in periodically, and I checked in towards the end, and I checked your stock, and like
Everything was gone.
very large ticket items too.
Yeah, the thing is, we're on there for 5 hours, and it doesn't feel like we've been on there for 5 hours. And at the 5 hour marker, when we were telling people like, hey, it's 5 o'clock, we gotta go, guys. People were like, no, come on, keep going, one more hour. And people like, we'll order food for you, we'll order you pizza, we'll take, it's like, just keep selling. We're like, guys, just join us for the next show. That's it. It's just insane. It's the best. It really is awesome.
Well, and then
enough about me.
Wait, Ben, one quick question. Are you not doing a Friday show now?
We decided against the Friday show because usually we do Tuesday and Friday, and we did Wednesday. So now we're gonna try Saturday. We're gonna see how Saturday goes. Yeah.
Cool.
Pop Shop Live.
No, it's perfect.
Nope. Whoa.
How's it going, Dove?
Good. Ian's trying to adjust my camera like while it's going.
Where are you right now, Dove? Are you?
I'm at the warehouse.
Well, you mean dispersed or the new DKE warehouse?
The DKE warehouse.
DKE headquarters.
I don't think I've ever been to the new DKE warehouse.
Well, you're a dick. You should come visit.
Yeah. I don't think I got an invite, is what I'm saying.
Oh, you always send your minions. That's okay.
In my minions. We got 24 people watching.
Wow. See?
You be nice. So
yeah, here we are.
Yes.
You're gonna cut all this out and post?
No, there's no post. We're live.
This is live.
That was a joke.
That was a good joke, though. That was landed it.
We have Dove on the show, and Dove, you have your own show happening soon in terms of a virtual con. And
yes.
What's the name of this show?
It's called, well, it's our San Diego SDCC edition of DKECon. And the idea is that we're going to actually do a Zoom meeting just like this. We're going to set up our booth here in the warehouse. And Sarah came up with this idea and I kind of ran with it and stupidly enough committed to running this Zoom meeting for all 43 hours of the San Diego Comic-Con convention. So we open Wednesday night at 5 and we'll be there from 5 to 9. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll be there from 9 in the morning until 7 at night. And then Sunday, 9 to 5. And concurrently, for the first time, we will have an online store open and anyone can pop on in, ask to see what's in the booth. And
you're setting up a booth.
I'm setting up the booth right here on this other side of this room. That's right. And we're going to have similar situation. We'll have, I think it'll be a 3-camera setup. There'll be one wide shot. I'll have another, shot right here. So people ask to see close-ups. I can go,
that's your hand right there.
That's for sale this year.
That's amazing.
Like that. See?
That's
and then
technology.
And then we're going to do artist interviews. So every hour on the hour, we're going to have surprise releases every day, contests. I don't know, whatever else we can think of. And then if nobody's there, Ian and I will just be pulling orders and packing them and just waiting for people to stop on by. And
exactly what you do in San Diego.
Exactly. They can watch us eat and like stuff our faces. So
you get to go out to Subway and buy yourself a $10 Subway sandwich.
Or eat that cardboard pizza, that they have for $9 a slice or whatever.
Are you bringing in a vendor just to have in the corner to sell you hot dogs?
Just to have the shittiest food possible.
Hot dogs and warm Mountain Dew for $17. Yeah.
You have to bring someone who's really sick too, so you can make sure you.
Oh yeah.
Great.
It's not a con if people are showering, if there's cleanliness.
Corona con.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Corona.
That's already happening in Arkansas right now. Alabama.
You can take the San Diego away from Dove, but you can't take the San Diego Comic-Con out.
So, I mean, we'll see. All the information is at dketoys.com/DKECon. There's a schedule there. The Zoom link is already up there. Store link is there. We're doing all the press right now, and we're going to be getting up all the stuff in the store. And then 5 o'clock on Wednesday night, preview night. Someone called me out because we called it preview night, and then they said, well, are you previewing the stuff? And I was like, no, it's actually, everything's for sale at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. So it is preview night, but it's not really a preview.
So a couple of questions for you, Doug, before we dive into the products.
Sure.
I'm sure a couple of people are asking this. First of all, are the products being actually sold on Zoom, or are they being sold on the website?
They're being sold on the website.
So technically, you can go to the website without having to go to the Zoom and still buy the products. Okay.
Absolutely. And the Zoom, the website will be open Wednesday at 5 o'clock and stay open the whole time, whereas the Zoom meeting will only be the hours of the convention.
Gotcha. So even when you're gone, which I would take down the website when you're not in the booth, you know,
why?
Because kind of make it like you can't go into the hall once the hall closes.
But that's not fair to someone in like Hong Kong who wants to make a purchase. Like, you know,
Ev wants those yen, man. Don't close out the yen.
All right. Second question for you.
Yeah.
Second question I have for you.
I love.
Let's say you open up Wednesday. Huh?
Yes.
Let's say you open up Wednesday. You sell out of everything Wednesday. Are you still going to be live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
You mean you might just pop up a graphic and be like, "Hey, gone to lunch, everybody." I find it hard to believe that we would sell everything. I mean, we have 30 exclusives plus all of our back stock. So if things started selling out, I mean, if it was that successful, I don't know. We can see how it goes. I mean, I already have interviews planned, so I have plenty of people to talk to throughout, and you know, we're gonna schedule an artist interview every hour on the hour, so at least it'll be entertaining. I can't imagine everything will sell out. There will be something to sell, and if I have to, we'll just go out into the warehouse and start pulling product and just start listing it live. Like,
Ian and I can start making bootlegs on the fly on camera.
That be amazing?
But I do think since you're opening it up to more than just San Diego Comic Con attendees that you normally do each year, that potentially you would get more orders.
And you could potentially sell out.
Yeah, because you're dealing with people, like you said, in other countries and stuff at this point.
Yeah. Plus stuff, there's no restrictions in terms of attendance.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to buy a ticket to go onto your website and buy the products.
All right, I'm just gonna say that this would be a great problem to have. I'm not worried about it, and if I sell all of it, then you can all go to hell and I'm leaving. All right. I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't
just say
Wednesday is limit 1. So on that preview night, it's limit 1 as well.
Correct.
So it won't sell. It would have to be a lot of. I mean, hopefully, it'd be great. If
so it's one per person
on Wednesday.
One per person Wednesday, and then Thursday we'll open it up if you want to buy 2.
I think it's a great problem to have, and I think you will experience this problem probably because, like I said, when you're in the hall and when people are looking for your product, they kind of schedule when they're going to come to you, Dove. Like they're like, I got to go to Funko first, then I got to go run to Mattel, then I got to go stand 4 hours in line at Hasbro, and then I'll go to Dove and hopefully he'll have that stuff that I want left over. And with this, you make it extremely easy for them, which is great. It's not a bad thing. I'm not dissing you here.
But
I think you, yeah.
Look at what happened with Ben even today. So like 3D Retro is obviously like a destination. He has an online website, but the fact that he went on and did the Pop Shop Live thing, like he sold a crazy amount of merchandise
in 10 minutes
that normally he wouldn't have, you know, if his store was open and people had to go there or whatever. So,
you know, I am happy like for this this event to totally school me and tell me like what an idiot I am and have everything sell out. Like that would be amazing. You do underestimate like how much product is actually here in the warehouse and what we can start pulling out and throwing up online like during this live show.
Sunday
like,
will just be a garage sale. It'll just be...
I've done it before.
Well, I know that you've got a lot of product to talk about, so I would say let's get right into it. Let's see what we got. I know that we've got over 36 people watching right now. So let's talk about
it says proud idiot supporter of the Sucklord's ego. Can you read that?
Yeah.
We hear, yeah, we can see it.
In addition to 1,000 tote bags, this bag is full of bootlegs, and here's the other side.
So how do you get that back?
Everyone gets one for free
What?
while supplies last, and assuming they arrive from China in time. But yes, but there's 1,000 tote bags. So every in-person and online order. Oh, we will be open in person too, starting Thursday at 10 a.m. The line will start outside, and we'll allow one person in at a time to shop. And so we'll have the little Zoom meeting, and then one person will be milling around like shopping and looking at stuff. It's going to be completely bizarre. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The look on Ben's face is just fucking priceless right now.
It's pretty.
He's so confused.
You're opening it up to the public?
Yeah, one person at a time, assuming that it's legal, according to city and state laws at the time. Yeah. I mean, you have to wear a mask, wash your hands and shit. Like, I don't know.
Wash your hands and shit is the official California motto of safety.
Wash your hands.
Now you're just discriminating. Taking my rights away, Dove.
I'm not even gonna comment.
I can't wait till Thursday. I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, look, we can always just post up a sign and say, "Hey, we've gone fishing." But I think it'll be a fun event. I think there's going to be a lot of people just hanging out, talking bootlegs, talking shop, and if anything, with a interview scheduled, every hour on the hour, starting at 11 o'clock. You're going to hear from virtually every artist that has a toy with us this year, and then some, and it'll just be a nice little virtual get together. And hey, look, if this works, I mean, I hate to say it, but there's so much value in doing a show, right? And but the shows are so expensive. I mean, it's outreach to get new customers, and for new people to discover what you're doing, and not to sell to the same group of people over and over again. But if it really works, great. It does call into question the necessity of actually packing everything up.
We have people in the chat that say they're going to fly in.
Mm-hmm.
And how much are in-person tickets?
It's free. You just line up at the door, one person at a time.
Also, people, Cinema Plastico says, when are the Sucklord face masks coming?
I was not in charge of that, so you'll have to direct that question to him.
Gotcha. All right.
Good idea, though. So anyway, we'll see how this goes. I don't really recommend anyone flying in, for this. This would be not a good use of funds. You could just go online at that particular time, because the stuff goes online Wednesday. We're not allowing people until Thursday morning. So I don't know.
All right.
So
let's see what you got. Let's see what products.
All right. So as you guys know, in the past, we had a show with Lou Pimentel at New York Comic Con for 2 years running called Vintage Gold, where we took vintage figures and vintage style figures, and he hand painted a watercolor backing card. Yeah. So it's really odd to do this and look at that. So this is actually a printed piece. And we have titled this Bootleg Gold. It is signed by the Sucklord and Lou Pimentel. It's a printed card. So instead of being the $150 or whatever, it's going to be $30. And we did one for the Sucklord. And we also have one for Killer Bootlegs of the Phantom Star Killer.
Nice.
Wow.
The Godfather's a bootleg there.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, these are $30?
Yeah. And we've actually, so the figure is almost like a bootleg of the bootleg, if that makes sense. If you can see, it's like really kind of like really having trouble with this.
Is that orange GID because it's really showing up bright?
Yeah, I don't think so, no. But the producer here is, I got a note from the wife. I'm not going to tell you what it says.
Oh,
time for dinner. Hurry up.
Oh,
Oops, my kids are probably watching. Anyhow, so these are $30, and we try. So much of our stuff is so expensive, and so we just try to have some like affordable items that are in larger quantity that we won't run out of. And with, perfect example, there's 200 of those. So are we going to sell out 200 of those? Like on Sunday, we could be hawking like the last of them, $30 like that.
I mean, it's a cheap enough price point,
We try. We have we have gay empires, and we have we can dig deep if we had to. I'm not worried. And then we're also curating a show with Lou Pimentel at Gallery 1988 in January.
Oh, sweet.
And he's actually going to be painting, I think, somewhere between 50 and 75 more original watercolor pieces that he's working on right now. So,
Doug, you need to tell him to get off Animal Crossing then, because I see him playing all the time. So,
God.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I'll leave that to you.
Hey, he's not doing anything for me. I'll jump on his island and we can play all day.
This is what the show has become, by the way. It's me and Scott talking about Animal Crossing.
Yes. So this other next item here is called Police Grin by Ron English. They're $100. They're limited to 50. They are signed and numbered by Ron. I always want to sing the 2001 song as I'm scrolling this through the. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, so that's just a follow-up to the Vader that we did before, which was called Dark Star Grin. This one's Police Grin. But if this one does well, we can always go and do the Fett. But I thought the sculpt turned out really nice. Whitney Mitchell sculpted it.
That looks great.
Moving on. And then fan favorite here.
Oh.
Oh, nice. That one's good.
So I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it on grid view, guys, because what happened is I thought by pinning the video that YouTube would actually show the pin video. So I think I'm gonna keep it on grid view.
So if you look at the back here, you can actually tell what our releases are for the rest of the year.
What?
You actually have to buy one to find out.
Can you zoom in on the
spotlight video?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Just for the guys on YouTube in the chat, are you guys able to see the video now if I spotlight the video?
I should have got my nails done.
They're about 30 seconds behind us. It'll take a second.
Gotcha.
We'll just stand here for 30 seconds.
This is professional.
Hopefully you guys can see it now.
Yeah. Should be coming. Yeah. You may want to go back real quick, Dov. Why don't you show the last couple just in case? Because I don't think anyone got to see the Ron English one.
It says here, the host has spotlighted your video for everyone. Would you like to unmute your microphone to speak?
No.
No.
Later. It'd be fun if I hit yes. Okay,
cool. So
screen.
I think for everybody watching, we're gonna keep this one as spotlighted, and everyone can hear us talk. I really don't think they care to see us.
Who wants to look at this?
I'm very handsome.
I just got a haircut.
That's true. Actually, Scott Wynn's very handsome today.
Sizzler.
And people are saying, can you pick up the grin again so they can see it a little bit more?
Yeah.
Nice.
So GarageWorks, is it GarageWorks that did the big ones?
Yeah.
So
made by Monsters GarageWorks.
Made by Monsters. So that was kind of the inspiration. Mock Toys did the card back. And I don't know, just the Vader was so well received, and other stores are coming out asking for exclusives, entire colorways. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully this will work. Do we need to go back to the other psychedelic, the vintage gold, bootleg gold? Should we do that real quick?
Let's show it. Let's show it one more time.
Just really quick. Here's
yeah. There you go, guys.
That Lou can paint a damn fine painting.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lou is amazing.
He's incredible.
Look at
$30.
look
Insane.
at this. Look at that one.
So good.
It's just
He probably just cranks these out too. It's probably like nothing for him.
no. It's a watercolor. They each take about 6 to 8 hours for each one, and
Wow.
he paints at this size, about 6 to 9, 6 by 9, and
And Dove just whips them.
the problem with unfortunately with watercolor is if he messes up, it's trash. He's got to start over. He can't fix it. You can't sand it off. You can't. The paper is saturated with the watercolor, and you're donezo.
Yeah, I've experimented with watercolor as well, and like there's this weird fine line where you don't know where to stop sometimes. So like sometimes you overdo it. So I could see that.
Dove, can we see the back of the Scott Campbell piece again one more time quickly?
Oh man, you want me to blow it all here?
Oh yeah. There it is. Are those going to be
Oh,
the size?
Marty.
Oh, God. Are those big ones going to be the same size as the ones that they were in Gallery 1988?
Those are the big ones.
So those were already done and made and sold.
This is every Showdown piece ever made, including this year. So the Thing was just released.
Yeah.
This is San Diego, and then this will be New York, the Forrest Gump.
Don't do that one.
DKECon.
Yeah, don't do that DKECon one.
This will be a Gallery 1988 exclusive for Christmas.
That means I'll never be able to get it.
I'm still lobbying for Point Break. I'm going to start marching out front of Scott's house. And
well, I'll tell you something. The Thing, we just released the Thing on Scott's website, and that was the first experiment in doing 2 full-size figures. It was $175. It was the regular size Kurt Russell figure, and then the Thing figure was taller. It was like 5 inches tall. It was $175, and we thought, like, if the price is almost double, are we going to meet any resistance? And I think we sold all 50 pieces, even in a few artist proofs, in a few hours. Nice. So Point Break, because Point Break's amazing. I mean, it's got like it's Keanu and like the wave with the little legs. I mean, that is
technically the drawing is both Keanu and Bodhi though, so that gets even bigger. If you go.
We'd probably have to choose one. I don't know.
Do two packs.
I don't know. I mean, we have like 4 turtle sculpts now, so it does leave the option open to do a larger piece with all 4 turtles on it. But I don't know. It's just 2 figures on there is just twice the work.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no economies of scale really, except in like printing the card backs or stuff like that. It just literally, you want to make 3 characters, it's just 3 times as much work. So would a $300 Point Break or $250 Point Break piece, would that sell 50 pieces? I don't know. We could keep pushing it, but
I just like to yell about it. I'm not saying you should actually do it. I mean, you should actually do it, but
anyhow. So next piece we got here is the S Trooper by Mark Todd.
Mark Todd!
Yeah, Mark.
So this is the 5th in the series. He sculpted the piece, and then he hand painted all the resin casts, and it has that same, I don't know what you would call it, outsider art, childish style that he is.
What does it say on the back?
There's
always something on the back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't show it. I have to read it this way. It says, super cool, with shiny plastic white armor and black fabric in the joints. They seem a bit sad. I like the helmets. Permanent, pouty face guys with side tubes. Not much else to say. These guys are rad. Look great shuffling through the Death Star corridors in formation. Enjoy. And then he's got his own risograph machine now. And for those of you who don't know what a risograph is, it looks like a big laser printer, but you have a cartridge that's 1 color at a time. And so each of these passes of a color has to go through 1 color at a time. So it's almost like a silk screen process, but it gives you these weird, vibrant colors with.
So cool.
Yeah, if you've ever seen someone who makes zines like Epoch Art or any of those guys, the colors like saturate and break apart, and it's very
Does it say sad at the bottom there? Is that what that?
It does. It does.
Sad.
Sad, pouty faced little guys.
Oh, with little tubes coming out their sides.
So, my hope is that we're doing one a year right now. My hope is that one day we could get to all 12 of the original 12 figures. It's always kind of a conundrum, because there's certain characters that sell the best. And then if you did that, we did Luke, and we're almost sold out of two of the runs are sold out, and then the third colorway is there's a few hanging around. And so when you get to Luke, Leia, like Leia, Han, Ben, it's not as exciting as Stormtrooper and Vader and the droids. I'm just wondering what happens at like Death Star Trooper, Tusken Raider, and Jawa. Like, can we go that far? And then if it's like starts to wane a little bit, we always just go straight to Boba Fett.
Blow things up.
We can always save things like so. All right, the next piece is called "The Empire's Got Back."
Oh my God.
This is the Drag Trooper here by Lazarus Toys, and
Can
I
you
like
lift it up a little bit?
yeah. You see what the corner says?
Fabulous. And up. Track Trooper. Oh my God.
That's pretty great.
So this is a collaboration with a gentleman by the name of Chris Mills, aka Darth Disco. On Instagram, he's $$ Mills. So he's actually a cosplayer. He actually dresses up like this for gay pride and stuff like that. And all of the proceeds of this are going to the Okra Project and the LGBTQ Victory Fund.
Nice.
Awesome.
Wow.
It's an edition of $60, including tax. And the cover art here is by Manuel Garcia. I
Nice.
like that little.
Little
And
ink.
do you see there's a
The cape.
cape.
Yeah.
I like this idea of this camera. We should even once pandemic is over, we should have a little camera like on the counter. It's like behind the counter, so there should be a little camera behind the counter.
Like
Close up.
no faces, just props.
No faces.
No one cares about the faces.
All right, so our favorite Icelandic toy maker, Victor's Vintage,
Oh, nice.
Oh,
just in time for Kanye's 2020 run. It's called Kanye Christ, the New Messiah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Uh,
So nice. And he's got a little halo there, a very Gucci, Dolce Gabbana looking kind of piece there, signed on the back. It's an edition of 40. They're $55. And what more can you say? Kanye fans like.
Oh, look, he's doing the little.
yeah, I was gonna say he's doing the white power symbol there.
No, but it's the like you punch him, like if it's below your waist. I forget what it's called, but don't look down here, sort of thing.
Right.
The little
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to. What is that called?
I don't know. What is it called? Because you're supposed to like poke it with your finger, or you get punched.
The Manny thing. Where you do the thing. You can't do it anymore because it's like white power. What's that thing called?
I
It's
think
what?
it was like KKK or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
it's
okay. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just
So-
racist people always ruin
So-
everything.
So we need to cancel that figure right now.
or
Yeah.
that figure's gonna sell out first
Totally
because it's
cancel
gonna be
yeah, you should not,
Right.
sell that.
Oh my gosh. What is this?
So this is the People's Liberation Trooper by Nekosatsu Toys. It's edition of 35, $45, including tax here. And it actually says on the back, space has been part of Chinese territory since ancient times, but sorry, I got to do it this way, but one only has to look at the great advances made in the name of unity by the People's Republic of the Galactic Empire, led by Emperor Xi Palpatine, an incorruptible champion of transparency and honesty. It goes on. You have to buy it to actually read it, but yeah, Nekosatsu Toys, like always been a fan of the work. It can always recognize it, across the room. Very iconic style, and
What is it?
me.
Dove, what does it say behind the figure in the bubble? Is there something, some kind of verbiage behind, like under his legs?
That right there. Oh,
No,
under.
Yeah, like
Right there.
Let's see. Yeah, it's actually removable. He's got. Are people only seeing this here?
I think so.
Yeah.
oh,
But
that's
It says independent artwork, not affiliated with any properties parodied. Please support the original material.
Ah,
Very, very Chinese sentiment there with his.
So I guess the question is, if people are watching this on YouTube, like why, if you're watching it live, why wouldn't you watch it on Zoom?
Ben, I'm talking to you.
what?
Never mind.
Why are they watching it on YouTube?
We get
Yeah, like
rewatches on YouTube.
Yeah, rewatch on YouTube, but if you're going to watch it live, you lose all the functionality by not watching it on Zoom, where you can look at the different people and you could.
Well, no, because we can't invite everybody to watch it on Zoom.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, we can't have like 100 people on Zoom here
You can't? Well, not
without lagging it completely.
Chris. You need to talk to them.
We can have a meeting when we're not live about what we can do at Zoom.
There you go.
It is possible to not have the people in the meeting, but on Zoom watching. That's because Chris worked this out for DKECon. Anyway, never mind.
I'm a consultant for DKECon.
Yes. All right. So here's my favorite figure of the year. Here, I'm going to show it to you this way.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Oh my goodness.
Let me.
I already.
What I can do is I can do this.
Oh,
Oh,
can you get that? So I'm.
oh my gosh.
So this is Caution by Good For You Toys and Dave Bondi. There's a little collaboration there,
That's fun.
and it's actually silk screened
Oh,
on a metal sign.
Oh my God. What are you
That's
doing?
really
And then
home
they're-
run, boys.
They're actually going to tag the back with all sorts of stickers, and will be signed and numbered on the back. This is just the proof they got done in time for the show. But
Wow.
it's an edition of 40. It's $150. Let's see if I can get it down here.
Hold on. I need to spotlight that then. I switch back and forth. So there we go.
That's super good.
That is so good.
It just, the card is like, how big is this card? Like it's like 11 by 14. Just, I don't know. You know, this was perfect for San Diego. Like this was made with San Diego in mind. Like, but
Yeah, that's a conversation piece too.
yeah, and I'm calling it now. Like this one gets nominated for
Yeah.
a DTA award.
Yeah.
Just, it's like it's got everything. It's just the design, the politics, everything about it.
Yeah.
Is,
The hidden meaning. Level up.
yeah.
So far, that's my pick for first sellout. If I'm picking first sellout, that's my pick so far.
Nice. All right, the next one is by first timer here with DKE. It's called Commando Marcos by Jack Warner. It's an edition of 30, $45. And it is a take on Subcomandante Marcos, the Zapatista leader, as interpreted as our favorite American hero. It's got the little file card on the back. Is this helping? I don't know. The glare in here is like, ugh. There you go.
Cool.
Anyway.
we got a shout out to Zapatista in the chat room. Thanks,
Fight the
John.
power.
John Pryor in there. Thanks, man.
Yeah. All right. And then Seth Relentless is continuing his series of taking our like iconic advertising characters and turning them into like evil
Villain.
people. So this one is called Defenders of Injustice. It's the environmental terrorist.
The artwork on it is just incredible.
Seth.
His artwork every time. It's just
The whole package every time. I mean, he's
the
never
packaging every
I haven't
time.
loved.
And then you can see the back here.
Rubber
Junior environmental terrorist. Super awesome activity sheet. Help Rubberman find his way to the dump truck to dump the tires in the lake.
Oh,
And there's the hidden words: pollution, tires, chemicals, corruption, and hazardous waste. So
Dope.
good.
What are the spots on the sculpt? Like on the sculpt, like the red.
They're little like fires or burnt areas.
Oh, like
chemical burn areas.
wounds of some sort.
Oh god.
It's on the painting too, so.
Okay. Yeah, I see it on the painting now.
Yeah. So let me just tell you about this one. It's an edition of 20. All his editions have always been 20. They're $55, which is just super affordable.
Yeah.
The very first one he did was this one.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Officer Largerberger, the child detention officer.
Uh-huh.
So he gave us another run of these, and these are in glow in the dark blue.
Oh
So,
wow.
So if you missed out on the first run, it's got the same art. It's just the blue has a nice glow to it. It's got the same back with the child detention center, super awesome activity sheet. And
Or if you're a completist, you're going to need to buy this one too.
It's true. And then if you look at the artwork, the kids in the jail, like
I don't mean to laugh.
I know it's horrible because unfortunately, you know, there are still children in jail right now.
Yeah.
For no particular reason, and
Sorry.
coming down with coronavirus. But anyways, moving on. So
Seth.
Yeah. So
Always.
Buzzard Guts really pulled it out this time. He's got 3 releases.
Holy cow.
Really?
Well, so I got a little, usually our schedule is pretty booked by the first few months of the year. Artists have already pitched me on the ideas of what they want to do. And usually when I get to like 20 items, 25, it's kind of like the max because we have a 10 by 10 booth and we can only fit so much in the booth, and we have backstock that we have to try and sell for people. So, but once San Diego was canceled, there was a fear that because of, I don't know, supply chain issues, people getting sick, or you just didn't know what was going to happen. He was going to do one figure and then he's not doing much or selling online. So he's like, I got 3, you want 3? And I was like, oh, okay. So the first one, ObiWan Quixote. And these are all editions of 20. They're $55. The art is by Last Boss Comics. And the art on the back, this is so good.
That should be the front, actually.
I saw that. Like he posted that one on Instagram. It's like, oh my god, so good. The next one for our southern friends is Bubba Fayette, Cajun Bounty Hunter.
I'm so in general bored of Boba Fett figures, but every once in a while I get a pun that I've never thought of. That's like perfect, and that's a really good one.
Yeah. One day, like 20 years from now, we'll have to do a book just on Boba Fett puns. Just see how far, we can.
It'd be a really long book.
And also, Last Boss Comics also painted this, and I contacted him about buying the original, and then he showed me this picture of the swamp on the back. I was like, is there anything Star Wars on the back?
I was gonna say, is there anything hidden in there? It looks like
absolutely nothing. I mean, it's just like a Thomas Kincaid swamp.
I'm looking like, where's the hidden Mickey, or where's the guy?
I haven't looked at it that close, but
I kind of love that though. That it's just like, no, screw it. It's a swamp. Go play.
Go
play with your Boba Fett.
It's like, I don't know, Neil. Last Boss Comics, you've missed your calling. You could have been Thomas Kincaid. Like
things to paint during COVID.
Maybe you could get yourself a Coke problem and be a superstar. And then the last of the 3 is from the Riot Scum series called Hammer Hands.
Nice.
And we've carried all the other ones in the series before. The Rebel Girl and Grilu, and you can see here.
Drummer needed.
And there's actually a Boba Fett in this series also that died. And so the funny story about that is one year for New York Comic Con, he made me this figure called Killer Bootlegs had done, what was it Frankenfett? No,
Mm-hmm.
Was that Frankenfett? And then
Yeah.
the other one was Boba. Okay, so then he made Boba Stein,
Right.
and I don't know, Boba Stein, he made 20 pieces, and it was really catering more like the design to like monster crowd, and those old guys that collect monster stuff just were not into it. So we sold maybe like, I don't know, about a quarter of the run, and the rest of them he ripped off the card and put on a Riot Scum card. So if you have an original Boba Stein, it's very rare. And then we do have some of the Boba Fett Riot Scums left. And I like the little Star Trek.
Yeah.
And you can see the eyeshadow on there.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Pretty good. All right, here's another rookie debut here with DKE is Toxic Fumes Toys. We don't give out Toxic Fumes Toys' actual name because he's a school teacher and he doesn't want his kids looking up on the internet seeing what he makes. He actually only sealed the top. So, and this one is, his name is Troma. It's an edition of 25, $65. Comes with a mop, and it's what everyone needs. Does this look familiar, Ben?
Does that?
I don't know. I think I spent a whole Toy Geeks episode just fucking around. Messing around doing that. Anyway, and then the artwork is by an artist called named Non Heinous, and Toxic Fumes actually saw the art, and this is actually a collaboration between the two of them because he saw the art and then contacted him and wanted to know if he could, make a figure based on his art, and that is the card art there.
Love the art.
Yeah,
the art is awesome.
And what's funny is like I know Non Heinous because on my other Instagram account, the Bootleg GPK account, like he's done all sorts of Garbage Pail Kid spoofs. So I've been buying, prints and stuff for him for, I don't know, probably a little over a year now. And then
Is
Small
that
Worlds.
articulated though?
Yeah, it's magnetic articulated actually, and that's one of the reasons. This is always an issue for toy makers. If they're going to seal the bubble and you make the figure articulated, you're kind of wasting a lot of extra time because who's going to rip it open to find out? Scott, are you talking? What are you doing?
You're muted, Scott.
Oh.
Sorry.
Are you talking or are you chewing gum? What are you doing?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I was muted. That was weird.
It's probably Ben. He's like, screw that guy.
He's talking too much.
I control all.
So yeah, the reason why we only glue the top of the blister is so that it can be open and the figure can come out, and then you can, they put magnets in there. Yeah. So, alrighty. This one is called How Dare You? It's a little Greta Thunberg as she's an environmental activist, if you don't know. She comes with a little sign. And Mock Toys did the design. And artist name is Horsey Boo. And her first name is Katie. And her last name, I texted her and I said, can you write phonetically how you say your last name? Because it's Mirakivi. And then, so I asked her to spell it out phonetically. And instead, she just recorded it for me. I should just go onto my phone and play the recording. But it's with, said like with the accent. And so I'm afraid of demolishing it. But anyway, and then you got the little mad Donald Trump there in the corner, which I think is fantastic. And what's nice is this is also in a resealable package, so you can take the figure out.
Did it say Dollar Slice Bootlegs on the back?
Yes.
Was that a
Yes.
collaboration?
A collaboration with them?
They are collaborated in life together.
Oh, there you go.
They're married.
Oh,
And Horsey Boo didn't realize she could sculpt until
Oh yeah.
he met Dollar Slice, and she's incredible. Like her sculpts are unbelievable.
So here's another.
Magnetic. That's cool.
So I mean, there's just so much extra time because instead of, instead of just casting this all in one piece, it means all of these pieces, have to be cast individually. So instead of casting one piece, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 pieces that all have to be cast, cleaned, then drilled out with a magnet glued in and then put together. And you have to get the magnets the right way, or else they show up to me and like the heads like they won't go together.
It's just the fact that that is an original sculpt. It looks like an actual Simpsons character. I mean, it looks like something you would see. I think that's super cool. Like,
yeah,
I love
totally nailed it. And I'm already a fan of the political statement in resin action figures, and then making it a political Simpsons figure, and then with Carlos from
price on
Toys
that one again,
doing the art.
People are asking.
65, and it's an edition of 30.
65.
super cool. Good job, Horsey Boo.
And I really like her logo. I wonder if Carlos designed that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Got that Playmates.
Yep.
All right, moving on. And it wouldn't be a show without Dollar Slice. Stony, the Puffin Clown. And what's funny is that is Dollar Slice.
That is
right there.
100% Dollar Slice.
That
Yep.
is Dollar Slice.
This is an edition of 30. There's $70 including tax, and the card art is by, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, Todd Bratrud. Did I say that right? Bratrud.
Hey, she's in the chat. She says, thanks, guys.
Oh,
Nice.
woohoo!
Woo!
No, thank you.
So Dove, is that figure articulated, or is that just a one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, almost all of Dollar Slice's figures are articulated, and you can kind of tell because the head is kind of gone wah, like that. So
And it looks like a resealable, like a bottle you can pop on.
yeah. And
Yeah,
what we do normally is we try to. The great thing about resealable packages is you can actually wrap the figure and then put it inside for shipping.
Magnetic. Awesome.
Right. Whereas when you have people who glue their blisters, and I'm not advocating one or the other. I always ask artists to do the shake test, and if it's not moving around too much, it's going to be pretty safe. But if there's too much room in the blister, or you've made a character that doesn't fit the blister quite right, then there's a lot of bounce back and forth, and then sometimes, we end up having to repair a lot of figures. And then the other option, which what happens on Scott C, is the figure gets glued to the card back.
That's what I do too.
So
Yeah,
there's no wiggle. So every resin artist out there kind of has their own reason and methodology. If something's meant to be removed, having a resealable blister is sometimes the way to go. And you can see the the little red stapler there. Like, imagine what that would look like if it was just rolling around in the package.
It would be demolished.
It'd be
Yeah.
terrible. And not only that, the legs would arrive to everybody broken.
Gone.
Yep.
So there are some people who contact us and who've asked, like, hey, I want to buy the figure, please don't glue the blister down, because they end up destroying their card anyway. So there's always like one or two guys, even Scott C himself, with his APs, he always gets one AP where the figures are not glued because he wants them all like on a shelf. And then if you rip the card off, if you rip the figure off the card, it's just, you've kind of ruined it. Anyway, this was a Dollar Slice show here. I'm sorry John, to interrupt your.
Why did we just cut to a shot of Scott eating?
Thanks, Ben.
Anyway, let's see what else Stony comes with here. It comes with a little sticker, a little card back sticker.
Oh, that's pretty
and,
great.
Of course, your DSP sticker.
Nice.
Nice. And this card back, this artist is really well known in the. I think he does a lot of skate decks. You can go look him up. It's at Todd Bratrud on Instagram. TODDBRATRUD. Information is right there. And then, oh, I see. He also comes with a little bong.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get my nails done before San Diego.
Dollar Slice's work is always so clean. It's just like he does such good work.
And actually, when he did the little write up, he actually gave me the brand name of the bong or the vaporizer, and I neglected, I think on purpose, not to mention it for Puffco. Oh, thanks, Ian.
John is a cat as well. So
He does.
Puffco Peak.
Thanks. Okay, so another new artist to the stable is Mug Costanza's wife, Ashley, who goes by Medusas Wild. We used to call her like Mrs. Mug, but you know, who wants to be owned by your husband? So that's kind of. So now she's just Medusas Wild. So I'm taking this out of the package here. So it says Star Nuggies. And then inside the Star Nuggies box is this.
What? Like nuggets?
Nuggets.
No.
Wow.
I'm gonna put it over here. And I think I read it. It took her like over a half an hour to make each one of these boxes. I think they found the die pattern online. And then inside.
Like the McDonald's toys.
Isn't that
Exactly like the McDonald's ones.
Isn't that amazing?
That's pretty great.
So it's an edition of 35. They're $45, and hopefully, you know, is a start of a new series here. You can see they're going to use the same box for
Chicky Nugget.
collect them all. So this one's Chicky Nuggy. There's Luke Sky Nuggy, Leia Organuggy, Han Nuggy Solo, Chew Nuggy, C3 Nuggo, and R2 Nug2, Darth Van Nuggy, and Storm Nuggy. Sorry if I massacred that.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Just the boxes. Like
So you have to make sure you get the first one. If you're gonna get it, you better start.
Yeah.
And I love it says One Piece. Yeah, I don't know. I just love it when people, it's just the creativity and where it's kind of like takes it to the next level. And what I find most of all is that the artists who show with us for the first time are doing their best to like show up the regulars. And it's something I realized when we did the Vader project. All of the big name artists, I don't want to say they phoned it in. They did a fine job, but you know, even Shag told me, like when he painted his helmet, that if you were to flatten out all the surface area of a Vader helmet, it would be a huge canvas, right? It could be, there's Scott eating again. You know, it could be like, I don't know, like a 20 by 30 canvas, like it's that much surface area. And a 20 by 30 Shag painting might be $20,000 or, you know, some crazy amount of money. And a Darth Vader helmet is not going to sell for that kind of money. So a lot of those guys, because of time, you know, they have less time to put into it. And what I noticed is like the newer guys really like stepped it up to try and show those guys, you know, like, hey, look at me. And so that's kind of the fun of this kind of stuff. All right, next one here.
Someone says it is all about the presentation, and that is awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh my
I'm all
God.
big.
3 men and a baby.
Three Mandos and a baby.
I gotta be honest, I'm surprised it took this long to come out. So
No.
I'll tell you that I've had so many people pitch me on Mandalorian and Baby Yoda ideas, and it seems like every artist has done one, and I've sort of like avoided them all. But this one was so ridiculous and just so, look at like the little green
Baby that peed on him.
Yeah. Great idea.
yeah, Muggs nailed it.
Yeah. It's an edition of 25. It's $120. Like $120 for what's essentially 4 figures. And he actually sculpted that little Yoda. And then my favorite thing about Muggs pieces.
Tag on the back. Yay! Tag on the back.
Yes, the tag on the back, the museum tag, hand cast resin lacquer paper cardstock.
Nice.
Nice.
Signed and numbered.
Yeah.
We have two bootleg couples hitting it out of the park this year with Shibu and Dollar Slice and the Costanzas. I like this family affair bootleg thing.
All right, so this one was supposed to arrive for Creature Bazaar and did not. This is called Chuckzilla. It's a take on the starting lineup figures. It is a what-if scenario of if Godzilla and Charles Barkley had had a baby. If you remember that, was it a Nike commercial? Converse commercial? I forget what it was. Oh, there was a commercial. You can Google it. Godzilla and Charles Barkley. You can go watch the video, and at the end, Ian is intrigued. He's going to go figure it out.
Somebody is asking. Sorry to interrupt. Somebody's asking if the Boba Fett pack, if they're posable or not.
They are
or
not
just solid resin pieces.
They're solid resin pieces.
Okay, thank you.
Because those blisters are glued down. Oh, he's saying it's Nike. I mean, it's funny because Converse is Nike, but it's not now. Well, there's a pseudo, logo right there. And then a swoosh-esque, right? And this is by Caterpillar Toys, which is the partnership of Verva Pico and CJ Ernster or Kill. And then you get this extra card that's actually signed by Chuck Z here, because that's what everyone needs. And
now, Doug, why is the figure like surrounded in plastic in that one?
That's something that they always do at Caterpillar and have always done it. And kind of what we were talking about before, how people choose to package their stuff to prevent from damage. So if it's kind of a thin figure. So if it was left in here, it would shake around. And so this doesn't appear to be glued to the back, no. So instead they put a little cellophane in there to give him a little cushiony feel, but it's not an openable blister. It is taped Sucklord style, so technically you could get it off if you wanted to.
Nice.
And anyway, I have a soft spot for starting lineup.
The drawing on that card is killing me. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I like all their stuff.
That's really great.
So I do have a little side collection of starting lineup inspired pieces. And every time, Killer Bootlegs did the one for that HBO show. What was the comedian?
Kirby Enthusiasm?
No.
Oh.
The baseball player,
Oh, Arliss?
Kenny Powers.
Oh, that one.
So
just naming all the other.
He did a Kenny Powers, and then Lazarus Toys did that one of Prince, and then we released one with Dogman was Robo Jackson. I don't know. I like that stuff. Anyway, moving on. All right, so one from the Thailand contingent here.
Whoa.
Here.
Whoa.
This is called Hip Hop Wars.
This is insane.
Wow.
This is by Oanot, or he also goes by Fat O.
Oh my gosh.
Or Kidding Toy, and you have a little Tupac bounty hunter and a little Biggie.
Wow.
Carbonite, and then this is
look at the packaging on that.
So this is laser cut.
Yeah, that's like a die cut, right?
Yeah, so it's done with a laser. You can see the burn marks on the back of the
wow.
laser. And signed it on the back, and then I believe it's numbered on the bottom of the carbonite.
Fato is on fire right now.
It's just amazing.
Like,
he's always delivering.
Every figure is one step better than the last figure.
Who made the artwork? Who did that artwork on the box?
He didn't say. It's actually not in my notes. I should. Sorry, you want it here or here?
Yeah, there we go. That is crazy, Dove.
He,
Boba Pack and Big Carbon Papa.
and then he sent me like, he created like the rest of the universe of like, like Eminem was C-3PO and
Oh my God.
Chuck D was, I don't know. It's like,
This is awesome.
so hopefully this line continues.
How much is this one and how many?
It's an edition of 50 and it's $100.
That's it.
The face on Biggie alone is worth it. I mean, like,
Oh my
Look
God.
at that lip is just, but if you look,
man.
let me see if I can switch cameras here and see.
I'll spotlight you. Hold on one sec. There we go.
So if you can see, he's got his nose ring painted. Tupac has his nose ring painted and he's got his earrings. I mean,
Wow.
the paint job, like holding his little gun there.
Insane.
Yeah, just really like, because the last thing he did with us were the big puffy jacket series.
Mhm.
And those, like, I can't wait for him to make more of those. Everyone is just, I still get emails today about those. So I think this is going to be.
I need one of those.
Those are great.
All right, so for Love of Old Toys, also called Flute, has a series of these. He's done, I think, 2 or 3 others in the series. Yoda, I can't remember. I think there's a Luke. I should be more prepared, but I'm a Leia, yeah. And soon.
Hey, Dev, quickly on the last one, what was the price on the?
On the Hip Hop Wars, it was $100.
Okay.
What was the Chuck Z? People were asking, what's the price on the Chuck Z?
65, sorry, and that was edition of 20.
20 pieces, 65. Thank you,
I
Seth,
lo-
for
I
bringing
love the interactive nature of this. Like, it's like if I accidentally leave off a detail and then this, the other way we used to record shows, people just never know.
No post.
Yeah.
People are taking notes, though.
You don't have to. All of this is going to be on our Instagram. It's everything. All the information's out there. We're actually, if you're watching this show, you're getting a preview of everything. But over the next week, everything will be on our Instagram and at DKE Toys, and you'll be able to go through and see just about everything.
Except for the secret releases. Don't forget the
Right.
secret releases.
Well, not telling anyone about those. This is an edition of 40. It's $55. These are all the way from the UK. And I don't know. I saw this one on Instagram. He posted it and I was like, that would be a good exclusive. And he sat on these for like 3, 4, 5 months, like a long time just so these could be here at San Diego.
So creepy.
Grays are kind of hard to paint well, too, if you're doing just shades of gray on an action figure. So to do that well is pretty impressive.
If you could actually see it in person, there's so much glare and focus issues and shooting through plastic here, but the paint job is really good.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, somebody's asking if they wanted to buy one of everything on Wednesday, are they able to?
Absolutely.
All right, there you go.
Because if you showed up to our booth in San Diego, you could. Now, I'll tell you, there is a problem, and this is just a function of the technology, is that this is why I was asking Scott earlier about how his store worked. And we're using a Shopify store, which will take stuff out of your cart if it sells out. So you don't, just because it's in your cart doesn't mean it stays there. Now, all of these editions are up there, so you have a little bit of time. My concern is that if you go through and you're just trying to add everything to the cart, and then by the time you get there, some things might sell out. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how it works. But my point is if you check out multiple times, or if you buy stuff on Wednesday and buy more stuff Thursday and Friday, we will combine and refund shipping. So if there's something that you must have, my recommendation is Wednesday night at 5 to add that to your cart and check out, and then go back. And if you have to check out again, it's going to be a mess for us, but we'll, send me an email and say, hey, these are my 4 orders. I will combine them and refund you some shipping. It's the only thing I know how to do. I spoke to the Shopify people, and it's just their calculation for shipping is not very robust, and it's, I don't know, is what it is. All right, so now here is another first-time artist with us, which his art name is Rendar Art, and actually he goes by Matt Rendar. His real name is Matthew Klein, and he is kind of like a customizer extraordinaire. And I saw his work, picked up a few pieces, and he's basically taking, sometimes they're cast, sometimes his work is existing Hasbro figures, and creating actual, like real US Army and US military paint jobs and customizations. And he's got a kind of a fantastic story. So his father was an animator for Disney and for Warner Brothers, and you can see all of the 12-back style art, and he's made a lot of these pieces. He sells a lot of stickers on his site, and he never really considered art as a career choice, and then 9/11 happened, and so he went and he joined the Army, and he did 2 tours in Iraq, and he got a Purple Heart, which was kind of crazy. And so when he got home, this was just kind of like an inspiration, like he's turning these Star Wars figures into like these real life, I mean, you can see the detail. I'll switch over to this camera here. I mean, the clothing and the soft goods and the amount of time and energy going into that is just kind of insane. And so when he got back, still like not going into an art career, he actually joins the NYPD, and he's in the forensics department. And now, and you'll on our site we'll have the link to the interview. But now he is actually, so he applied to the division to be an NYPD sketch artist, and now he's one of the 3 NYPD sketch artists on staff. So if someone comes and hits you over the head and you have to go sit with someone to describe it, like he's using his art skill to like create like these mug shots. And if you see the pictures of his office, it's always cool to see like the sketch of the person that he created, and then like the actual mug shot after they caught the person, and side by side. It's kind of insane, like how that just kind of brought him like full circle back to an art career, but for the NYPD. Fantastic.
Those are cool.
Anyway, these are $80 each. There are 25 of each. They're signed and numbered, as everything is here.
Nice.
Sweet. Super detailed. Okay, Battle Tribe. All right, so Flat Bonnie did Chewbacca for us, if you remember. She took her cactus character, turned it into Chewbacca.
Yes.
And so we're sitting around thinking like, oh, it did so well. Like it was amazing. It had like those little spikes on it. And then she did a little, she releases those little 4-inch cactuses, right?
Yeah.
And then we were sitting around talking, and we said, oh, can you do a Chewbacca version of the small one? And then I think it was Ian's idea, and he said, well, why don't you do the packaging? And then came that.
Oh my gosh.
And what's amazing is she's taken the blister that we provided her, and she's sewn it all the way around.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
you can remove the blister like this, and then there's a magnet inside.
What?
Ha!
And she's just sewn the whole thing. It's
So you can just hang it up on the wall.
It's wall art essentially.
Wow.
And it was supposed to be like $100, an addition of 50, and then 20 or whatever. And then she made one, and then she's like, "No way! This takes so long." I mean, she's It's unfortunately it's ended up at a $200 retail with an edition of 5, and it just the detail. Like, look at all of that.
Wow.
That's
all.
still not bad for 200.
I mean, for a piece of wall art, like if this was in a gallery, sure. This is so inexpensive. It's just kind of crazy. And then getting the blister back on here. So I don't know. The price kept going up. She's like, I don't know if I can do it for that or this. And then I'm like, she's like, what if I only make 5? Like, okay, how much do you want it to be? She's like, 200. I'm like, I don't know. I think people will pay it. I think it's actually, I mean, she had to cut all the letters out. See that close up there. Okay. So another regular here is Joshua from Joshua's Toy Box. Let's put this here. So he had I think at San Diego a few years ago, he was selling these little mini Ewoks or giving them away out of his backpack. And he decided to turn it actually into something that he could sell. I think they're 4 different sculpts there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy about this, and then there's a die, and so you can, because it's actually part of a game. So this, it's kind of hard to see here, but this is all hand glued. This is a lino cut print. And this background here, they told me what it's called. It's called a shinkolei, which is kind of like an intaglio print. It's like on a metal plate, but then you put tissue paper on it, and then you push it. You put and the ink is already on the metal plate, and then you push it into the. And it gives you can see this is all raised here. So all of this is hand done lino cut. It's kind of insane. And then the back is also, put the back over here. Sorry to make you jump around, but. It says, let the Wookiee win. I don't think so. The gang's all here, and it looks like Cabe has the edge. Start your own adventure with Joshua's Toy Box new mini walk adventure game. Fly through the galaxy, visit the ice planet and the desert planet, and come face to face with the Emperor in the game of cosmic adventure. Only one player will get to reveal the sacred tree totem and win. Will it be you? Grab a mini walk, roll the die, and start your adventure today. So for the amount of work that went into this, I mean, they're $45. It's an edition of 20. And I just so next level, the amount of work that went into this. So then I get an email. It's like, so we're making these pieces and they're for a game. Do you mind if we make the game? What? You want to make a game? What's a game going to look like? How many are you going to make? Like, oh, we're going to make one game.
Only one.
And this dude makes the freaking game.
Oh my God.
Okay, and then all of these are hand glued pieces of lino cuts that he's cut out of linoleum, printed for the purpose of making one. He's making an AP2 for me, but still for 2, right? All of this are lino cuts. So just this box in it of itself is just a piece of like frameable art. And then it comes with, wrong one, Ben. The exclusive chrome token right there. Okay, so then it keeps going. So then you open the box here, and he signed the top of the box and the game board. He made the freaking game board.
What?
What? Hand done lino cuts on each one. This is all hand glued.
Well, and for those who don't know, how old is he now?
Is he 17, 18? He was when he started with us, he was 15 or 16.
Yeah.
He's getting older, definitely. I don't know if this project just like burnt him out or not, but so anyway, this is a one of a kind. It's
You
400.
have one of these.
One. And then I asked him, like, do you want to make more if I can sell more? It's $450. And And then he's like, no. I said, what if we could print the game board and you just cast the pieces and we have a cheaper one? And he's like, no. Here are the direct.
I want that Wampa Lina cut art that's on the board. I'd hang that up.
Crazy. So here's the directions. Here are the game cards.
Wendy says he's 16 years old.
Here's the game
16.
pieces.
Wow.
The die. I don't think he's 16 anymore. And then this is a hand sculpted piece in the middle. I don't know if I'm supposed to show this. This goes in the middle of the game board, and then when you win, like the little head up, can't really show you that. Because then, if you paid the $450, then you get to press the button and see what happens. So I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Maybe I already have. I don't know. Anyway, so I was just blown away. Like, this is.
There's one.
It's one.
He made
maybe I can convince him to make more, but it's just so labor intensive. It's not my goal to make things that we sell that are just unattainable. I'm sure there's someone out there who really wants it, but that's insane. I'm
just wondering, the number of people watching, because there's we have 46 live viewers right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 46, for $450, just if you guys can chime in, would anyone buy it? I'm just wondering, out of 46 people, how many
don't put them on the spot. $450
it's
is
easy
a lot
for
of money.
45 people just to be like, yeah, I totally buy it. It's not like they're buying it.
Anyhow, moving on. And then our perennial favorite who's with us. Stay muted later. Stay muted. God.
Stay muted.
This is another one. Rika has two pieces with us this year. This one is from the Wasters of the Universe series. This one's called Headman, the Ottoman Empire Guard. So if you're familiar with the Uzay figures that came out in Turkey, one of the most famous ones is a Emperor's Royal Guard that was called Headman. I don't know. It's worth like 20 grand. So he's kind of turned it into his little Masters of the Universe. It's an edition of 33. They're $65. And then continuing his Real World Heroes line, he did a Tiananmen Square protester in front of the tank.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
I don't know if you remember the previous ones. He did a suffragette, and then he did another African American man from the I'm a Man protest in the 60s. And they all say, very disturbingly, like, not a toy. Very ominous.
Wild.
So it's kind of interesting, like the history of this actual person, because in the news it was reported that I forget, they call him Tank Man, and they actually don't know who it is. And for years they thought that the Chinese government killed him, and there's footage of him like disappearing into the crowd, and they weren't sure if the Chinese government had pulled him aside, or if other people said, hey, you better get out of here. But they do believe that this man is somewhere still living in China, but because of the nature of the censorship, the Tiananmen Square protests, like, students growing up in China really don't know about it because they don't have access to Google and Wikipedia and stuff like that. And so that part of history in China has kind of been erased. And this is probably one of the most memorable and iconic, protest images of all time, but not to people living in China. So, and even the footage of the actual event, all the photographers and videographers that were there that day all have stories of, having to smuggle those images out of China.
That's such a good example of like, sometimes you look at a toy or an art and you wonder, like, why did you make a toy of that? Why isn't it a painting? Why isn't it something else? But the presentation of that with the figure against the tank is such an awesome presentation and use of a toy with an image. It's so cool.
He did a nice job.
Asked, does Rika have an art trooper for San Diego release?
He doesn't. We still have about half the run of the Picassos. I was pushing for a Salvador Dali. I think that's the next, logical step. I would like him to do a Banksy, but he's also Rika's from the UK and he knows people who know Banksy, and he's just like, bugger off, whatever. He doesn't want to do that. But I think if he did a Banksy, we could sell, hundreds of those. But yeah, he's not interested in that. So I think Salvador Dali is my choice, because it started off with Warhol, then Basquiat.
Have you done a Keith Haring?
He did Keith Haring.
Yeah.
And then who else? Picasso. Oh, and then he did the Sucklord. And then we might have one later on this year for New York Comic Con, but that's going to be a funny one. We'll wait for that one. Anyway, Rika, as usual, hitting it out of the park here. Always delivering every show, coming up with great stuff. All right, and then this last one that is not actually here yet is...
This is the last one?
Before our mini art show, yeah. This is the last actual carded figure. So this one is called Darth Knight by Topps Toy. If you remember, Topps Toy did the Boba McFly, and all we get is to see a photo of this one, unfortunately, because these guys in Thailand, or anyone who's making stuff for us in another part of the world, has to get the stuff done not like the day before we pack up and leave for the show. They have to get it done a month before. Yeah.
Before you continue, people are asking, how much is the Tank Man? How much are the Rika figures?
Tank Man is $45, an addition of 40.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Great.
And the Wasters of the Universe edition of 33 is $65.
Okay.
And this Darth Knight is going to be $55, an edition of 30. And if you've seen his figures before, it's hard to take a photo of, but I guess he doesn't use the standard blisters that we sell. He uses those little kind of like resealable boxes, like the Boba McFlys that you have, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can see that it comes in the little box where you can pull it out. So
Nice.
that's the best representation that we can get you right now. All right, and then so the last thing is Australian-based artist Addy, who has made a few figures with us in the past, is doing a little mini art show, and he has this kind of amazing style of being able to reduce,
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Love these.
Funny.
pop culture characters into big hunks of hand-cut and hand-painted wood. This is going to fit right here. If I can show them to you this way. This is a little walrus man. Maybe I'll set them up over here, and then I'll take this. This is the last thing. I can take the phone off the. This Gamorrean guard, I think, really just hits it out of the park.
That was
And these
great.
These are all one of a kind. Sometimes he repeats characters, but they're always slightly different.
So he's only making one of each?
Yeah, these are higher priced pieces. I neglected to bring the price lists with me, unfortunately. They range from $150 to $300. There's I think he sent us 2 Boba Fett's.
Oh, the guard.
I think we did a previous episode where I showed my collection, and I had the 4 Cantina aliens that he did. This power droid, however, is next level.
That's great.
What else? The Princess Leia. Gun inside.
So once again, you're only going to have one of each of these.
Yeah, this is more like a traditional art show. It's like one of a kind. And if they sell out, like, he can make more. Well, it does take a little bit of time. There's a little Ewok. I mean, generally, in my experience, if someone is spending $200-300, they want a one of a kind piece. Like,
yeah,
he did make if you remember, a little 3 3/4 inch Darth Vader that was carded, and he made those out of wood, and it was with a blister on a card that he designed. But I think we still might have a half a dozen of those left. But let's see. Oh, here's a little Jawa. Ian is saying we have 3 little Jawas here. And then this is one of my favorites. He did a
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, I don't remember that character in Star Wars.
yeah.
He's in the new. He's in the new ones.
It's when the stormtroopers went through the drive-through to get lunch.
All right, and then look at that. Just totally like I love his little signature on the bottom of each piece.
That's awesome.
So if we if we were in San Diego, this is the kind of stuff that would be on the back table, with all like the one-of-a-kind pieces.
No, you need to get him to make me some Back to the Future ones.
Do you want it? I will ask.
Please.
Okay, let me see if I can take this.
You gonna set up? Hold on, I'm gonna. There they are.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Super cool.
Very cool.
So, the big takeaway from this, everybody, is that dketoys.com/DKECon will have all of the information, times, links, how everything, the schedule of artists, everything, all the information that we know will be on that link. You should be able to get it to us from Instagram. The press release is also on the blog. We're doing our best to get that information out to everyone, so no one is kind of lost. I signed up on San Diego Comic-Con's website yesterday for their virtual exhibit hall, and I put the links up there. Explained what we're doing there. So just DKE Toys. Actually, if you just go to DKE Toys and you click on the DKECon button, it'll take you there also. And that information is up there now. Right now, it takes you to the store link takes you to a store that says, "Hey, coming soon," kind of thing. But
I'm gonna open it up and see if anyone has any last questions for Dub. Any questions about any of the figures that you guys have seen today? Any questions about the anything like how they're being sold? Anything that you have question-wise for us before we sign off here, probably in the next 5 minutes. I think your biggest problem, Dub, and like I said, it's a great problem to have. I think your biggest problem is going to be you are going to sell out on Wednesday, and all the people that flew in for Thursday are going to be like, "What the hell, man?"
Don't say that. If you do not fly in for this event, you're better off taking your chances on Wednesday.
Can you tell us the event is being open to the public Thursday? Where is the warehouse again?
The warehouse isn't near North Hollywood, adjacent. It's technically Pacoima, but no one knows what Pacoima is, so I just say North Hollywood.
It's where Marty McFly's house is. Duh. Pacoima.
Of course, that's what you would say. So the Zoom meeting and the store are going to go live Wednesday night at 5 o'clock. The store will remain open, throughout the entire time. And then the Zoom meeting hours are Comic-Con hours, 5 to 9 on Wednesday, 9 to 7 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9 to 5 on Sunday.
Couple of questions for you. Sorry. Is Tupac Fett posable? I don't think they are, right?
No, very few of these pieces are actually posable. And actually, for the most part, you don't want them posable unless you plan to take them out. So if the artist does not intend for you to take it out, I've had a couple of instances where someone has made something articulated with magnets and sealed it inside. And then I ship it to someone, and then it arrives, with the head stuck to the arm and the arm stuck to the head. And then you have to kind of shake it to kind of get the head back to, to get it. It's kind of a mess. So I encourage people to use magnets and articulation only if it's a resealable blister. And I know some people out there just love to open their stuff and they don't care about, the card art, and they just want that loose figure with the rest of their loose figures. I totally understand.
Next question, international buyers.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Let me just say that. So when you're casting something that is posable, the sculpt has to be different, right? If you look at the nature of, if you look at Tupac, if I can pull him out, you could not get this level of detail. Oh, but wait, Ian. I messed up. What? So actually, I lied. So it's just the arm, right? Yeah. So the two arms are magnetic.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I totally lied. The magnets are very strong, but I'm going to tell you that if you see, like, the magnets are not moving. He used like crazy magnets. If the were to come off, then you're playing like, you know, those little games you'd play, those teaser games as a kid, trying to like get the marble down the thing. Then you end up playing that game to try and get, because you don't. This is glued. But my point is the more articulation you have, the less detail imposable. Like, you have to have. What kind of shot is that, Ben? Did you cut to that on purpose?
I'm trying. Spotlight video. There we go.
So the more posable you have, the less you can actually have it in a when it's in a fixed position, it can be more dynamic. And when it has to be posable, it usually, you know, has to like be like this, because someone has already decided. I mean, unless you have a GI Joe that has, you know, so many points of articulation. But with the resin toys, every time you have a point of articulation, it has to be a separate cast. And it's resin. It's not like injection molded plastic. So the more you move it, and then the more they rub, the more it's like, because resin can be sanded. Everyone's like pulls their figure out of the mold, they sand it, they paint it, they coat it with, you know, and the more they move and grind up against each other, the worse it gets. So I don't know. I don't want to advocate leaving your stuff in the package if you really like opening your stuff, but I personally, I feel like this whole piece as it stands is the piece of art. And if the artist glues it together, he means it for it to be displayed like this. But look, once it's yours, you can
do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
So question for international buyers for the con, are you taking international orders and shipping international? Is there any countries that you won't ship to maybe that we should know about?
I don't think we've run across a country that we haven't shipped to yet, but we've declined to ship to. We have customers all over the world, and yes, we continue to ship all over the world as long as it's legal for us to ship there. Sometimes there are some countries, there are certain shipping methods that we will not use. Like, I won't ship regular mail to Mexico without a tracking number. That's just a recipe for, and that's not something I made up. That's something, you know, Mexican customers have told us, like, do not ship me anything with a tracking number. Like, we may not get it. Like, I don't know what the Mexican post office does with all of these packages, but
they have a very large bootleg collection.
Victoria's asking that she just got here. If you can just please start over on them.
Yeah, everything will be on Instagram.
Plus, you'll be able to watch this on our YouTube channel.
That's right.
There you
go.
How
wonderful. But if you have any questions, you can always email me at dketoys@gmail.com. And what I always say before each show is that, you know, we do a lot of business at the show, but we also do a lot of business for people contacting us. Now, everyone's getting funneled to the store Wednesday night. But if you miss out on something, just send me an email. You know, if you look at what happened with Topps Toys Boba McFly, like, I don't know, he's on his 4th edition already. Like, he did the Droids one, and it's because people keep missing out, and so he keeps making another one. And
yes,
I keep.
The completists still keep buying one.
Okay, there are a few people who must have everything, but at least for everyone else, I keep a list, and then those people get first crack at, you know, the next version if there is one. So. And you know, the same is true for that Officer Larger Burger that Seth Relentless is doing. You know, I have 4 people of, you know, the edition of 20. I have 4 people already reserved for people who contacted me, and, you know, over the past 2 years. They're like, dude, I missed out. I have to have this. I have all the other ones. What am I going to do? I can't sleep at night. So, you know, we try to take care of the collectors, and just I don't know how it will work out. I hope everyone gets what they want. This will be a learning experience for all of us. This is actually the first time that any product from DKE, other than a few Kickstarters we have done, there's available online for sale.
I think you're gonna blow it, like Wednesday night. You're gonna be like, well, now what do we do?
Well, here's the beauty of it. If up to a certain point, most of these artists can keep up with demand. If 50 pieces of a Scott seed piece is not enough, the edition could go up to 75. It's not, it's more work. It could go up to 100. These things are so expensive to make and so time consuming,
Right.
that if you make 100 and you only sell 50, you feel like just a complete moron, and it's sitting there in a box and you're like, oh my God, like I made too many. But if you make 50 and 50 people want it, you feel like a superstar. Like I remember a comment someone made, they're probably watching right now, like there was an edition that was only 5 and everyone was complaining they hated the toy. And, my response was, I only need 5 people to buy it, right? If 5 people love it enough to buy it, like that is the definition of success. And then the comments were like, oh, if you only need 5 people to be successful, blah, 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 all right, it doesn't matter. It's like, if there's only demand for 100 and you make 1 million, you're an idiot, right? If you make 100, there's demand for 110, you've done a pretty good job. But unfortunately, you've pissed off 10 people. It's not an exact science. And the only way around that is to do a pre-order, which is also has its problems. Like,
right.
You
Or
take a pre-order,
which also has its problems.
Sure. So, it's like I could, now with a store, we could take some more popular pieces and make them, on demand. So that means I have to take your money, right? And then I have to tell an artist, hey, instead of making your usual 25, go make 125.
Ooh.
Right? And then what if that takes a year? And now I'm sitting on this money for that long, and people are like, where's my toy? Where's my toy? And then they think that, I'm a jerk because like the artist is taking so long. And so it starts to create this problem. Like there's no one solution to make everybody happy unless, you don't care about making money or staying in business, in which case you can do all sorts of crazy things. Anyway, that's another issue.
Kevin says to strictly email you about pastrami. That's it.
The what?
About pastrami.
Who said that?
Kevin.
Oh, Kevin.
Life of Cop.
I think the what was the right response to that.
Yeah. We were talking about our favorite pastrami. Favorite pastrami in LA right now is Ugly Drum. And
what is it?
Ugly Drum. It's over. I love Langer's. Langer's is my favorite, LA staple. And there's Daughter's Deli now over on Sunset, which is very similar, same family. But Ugly Drum, I don't know how we're talking about food now. This is the next food show. But I'll just tell you the quick story because it's fantastic. Okay?
Oh gosh.
So there's Bloodso's Barbecue, started down in, I forgot where they were, South Central LA. Yep. And apparently white people wouldn't drive to South Central LA to get barbecue. So they decided to open on La Brea and Melrose.
Yep.
Right. And then insane, there's people like, oh my God, this is great barbecue, great barbecue. But it turns out that I think he's their bookkeeper, or their accountant. He makes pastrami's in their smokers. And he shows up at Smorgasburg, which is that setup thing downtown LA, with all the food trucks. And he makes, he smokes his own pastrami's, and they're, man, like smoked pastrami is amazing. And so then on Monday, he sells all his leftover pastrami to Kofax on Fairfax, and that goes into their breakfast burritos.
No.
Boom! Yeah. So if you show up there, Ian is going nuts over there. So if you show up to Kofax on Monday mornings quite often, ask them if they have any pastrami, and then, yeah.
If we sell out on Wednesday, Dub's just going to take some pastrami, leftover pastrami, cart it. It's going to be great.
Yes, indeed.
All right, we appreciate everybody watching. We're losing viewers. It's been like 2 hours
there's just like pastrami.
No, people are getting hungry. I'm hungry. I gotta. It's 8 o'clock almost, guys. But Dove,
thank you guys so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to stay in your warehouse and talk about all the things. Thank you for giving us the first look of everything that's going to be, being sold.
And
excited for this.
everyone else who's not watching this show has to wait all week for the releases to show up on Instagram, like one a
Right.
day. So
And
if
they
you're
can
watching the
watch
show,
it.
you just found out everything.
You got the exclusives exclusive.
That's right. So
All because of you, Ben. All
Yeah.
because of you.
Thanks, Ben.
Well, Scott and Janky, they help. Sometimes Kevin. There's,
Sometimes Kevin. Oh
George.
my God.
There's other people.
Yeah.
But thank you guys, everyone, for watching. We'd like to remind everyone, you can share this video if you like. If you're an artist and you want to kind of highlight, there's a lot of your artists have been in the chat of watching. So please feel free to share. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're looking forward to DKECon.
Just log in and say hi, everybody.
I might want to come over on Thursday.
I don't know.
Come on.
You didn't get the invite, Ben. You'll have to stand in line.
You have to bring pastrami if you come over.
This is what
Yeah,
happens.
now he can come.
We're gonna make
When
Ben stand
I
out
try to go to
line,
the
stand
warehouse.
outside. Like, okay, use the gel, Ben.
What
Put
if
your
I
mask
bring
on.
pastrami?
We'll talk.
All right. Well, I think that's it, guys. I think we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for watching us live. Scott, anything you got to say?
No, it's a fun episode. Very informative. And it's good to see what Dove's got this year, as always.
Thank you, Scott.
Scott was just playing Animal Crossing this whole time.
This whole time. He's like eating. Nom, nom.
I don't really know what was going on, but I'm sure it was pretty cool. Janky, I'll see you on Animal Crossing.
Yeah, man. We'll go dive for some scallops.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again. Once again, everyone, thanks for watching. And we will see you on the next Toy Geeks. Follow us on Instagram, Toy Geeks BTC, for our next show. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da.